Alright, so today we're going to be making a color wheel. So on your piece of paper you're going to make a circle, and then inside you're going to make another circle. Then you're going to divide it up, and I'm going to help you guys with that. But I want to make sure that you have 12 sections. So we're going to have red, red, orange, orange, yellow, green, green, blue, green, blue, blue, violet, violet, and red, violet on our color wheel. So it should look like this in the end. So I am going to demonstrate this for you right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw a light circle. Doesn't have to be perfect at all. And then you're going to be making another circle within that circle. Then what you're going to do is you're going to divide up your circle. You're going to divide it in half, half again, so you have 4 sections, and then you're going to be making 2 lines within those sections. And that should be making 12 sections, kind of like a clock. Then what you're going to do is you're going to write red, or R, R-O, O, yo, yellow, or Y, then green, yellow, blue, green, blue, blue, violet, and then violet. If you need to go in the front, on red, violet. If you need to go back, you can do that. So we're going to be making and painting this now. It's going to be really wet all the way to the end, so just keep that in mind when you're doing this. So you're going to add your red, then you're going to add a little bit of orange to your brush, and you're going to keep blending it and bleeding it all the way around to make your color wheel. So add lots of water, lots of color, but you're going to make your color wheel first, and then we're going to start adding in some oozles and drips and drag some lines through the center in order to make it fun and expressive and not so boring as far as a color wheel is concerned. So I'm just blending the colors as I go and adding, always getting water, getting the color, and adding it down. So I'm adding a little bit of yellow into the yellow green, and then I need to add a little bit more orange into this section. So I'm going to keep going back and forth. I get some water. I'm pressing my brush a little bit that has water inside of it. And then I'm dragging it into the yellow-green portion. So I'm adding some green to this. And this is what's going to happen with this, because it's so wet, it's going to be bleeding within the colors. So the yellow green is going to be mixing with the green, and then the green is going to be mixing with a yellow blue green, and then the blue green is going to be mixing with the blue, and the blue is going to mix with the blue violet, and so forth and so on. So just keep it really wet while you're doing this. And it looks like I'm using a lot of color. I'm really not using that much color. I'm just touching the top of the palette, and then I keep going. I am not scooping my paint up. I want to make sure that you're aware of that. I'm not scooping my paint out. I have a little bit of water in my brush, and I'm bringing it down. So you can see I'm kind of blending a little bit more. So I'm adding some water, adding some color, adding some violet, and then I'm going to get into red, violet. And it is pretty messy at this point right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play around with the colors that I have down on my my paper. And I made a little bit of an error right there. I don't know if you see that. I'm just going to dab it. You can dab it with a paper towel. I picked it up really quickly with my hand. That's not really that advisable, but it worked for this. But using a paper towel really takes that off pretty quickly. So if you make a mistake, that's what you could do. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking the color, I'm bringing it down, and just creating a lot of crazy little lines. I'm just extending those. I'm going to be overlapping, just really playing with this color that I have here. Now for me, I I've made a lot of color wheels in my life, and I particularly don't really care to do them that much because in the end you don't really use them for anything. But if we can create something beautiful out of a color wheel, this is something that we could do. So that's why I'm turning this into something interesting, more so than just a plain old color wheel where you just paint inside the lines. It's more of expressive. If you want to make different kind of lines, like little squares and triangles or something else, you could do that. It's up to you. So I'm just extending some of the color, cleaning up some lines that I see that I don't want it to be that messy up here. But in the end, you'll see that I kind of just go over it anyways. So I see a little bit of a drop right there, and I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna make a bunch of little drips everywhere. So what I do with my watercolor brush is I get some color and I start throwing it down, and then I start squeezing my watercolor brush, because that's something that you could do with it. Grab some color and squeeze it, and you can add the color to your paper. So I'm going to keep doing that until I fill it up as much as I want. I'm going to take some crazy lines. That's more or less called a scrumble. It's not a scribble, it's a controlled scribble. It's like a scrumbling line. So we're making oozles and scrumbles. And I just want you to have fun with this. It should only take you a class period to do this. We're going to put it on the drying rack, or if you're at home, you can go ahead and put it off to the side to let it dry. You're going to take a photo of this and you're going to be putting it into Google Classroom if you're at home. If you're here in class, you're going to let it dry on the drying rack, and then you get to turn it in with your name on it. Please email me if you have any questions about this assignment. If you want to add anything else to it, you can. You can also let it dry and then add other things on top of it too. That's an option for this. Make this unique to you and have fun. I look forward to seeing what you do. Please watch the entire video until it's completed. Okay? And then if you need to restart to see how you break up the lines, go ahead and restart it. Have a good day.